Well, let us return to Morningstar.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. This is your first time here. I'm the big fella Scruff. And what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, do stick around, hit the subscribe button, smash the like, and we'll crack on. So what are we doing? Well, first of all, I'm having a coffee. Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee, and he needs it this morning because he's knackered. And why am I knackered? Well, it's because I've been getting up early. And I'm going to put a little shout out to Steph and Danny and the guys in the Scruffy squad. A little salute to you. We're wanting a bit of an experiment. It's to see if we can find a trade before we go to work. So there's two kind of trigger points that we're looking at. And the idea is at the top of each hour, you make an assessment on a breakout. And that's what the main push of Morningstar is going to be today. Now, it's a simple system. We're going to look at 4 products each day, which is Euro, Dollar, the DAX, Cable, and FTSE. Why them? Well, it's 2 currencies. We've got the 2 Europeans, and then we've got the 2 British tied together. And the idea is we can look at them between sort of from 6 and 9 in the morning. You're looking at the 2 open breakout points. So it's a variation of the London breakout with a little bit of a twist into it. Because the breakout is quite subjective. So let's flick it over because it's about to turn 8 o'clock and we're going to see what we're looking at. The first thing we need to do is establish which one of the markets we're looking at. Well, at the moment, I'm looking at these 2, okay, which is the Euro, Dollar, and the DAX. And of them, we're going to be looking at the Euro, Dollar, okay? Now, the principle behind it is very simple, right? It's coming in, so we're going to see what we've got, okay? The idea is we are going to open this up and we can see what an opening range is. Well, we can see an opening range here in this candle. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish how big that is. Now, it's not difficult, or at least it will be. You've got to excuse me. This is a new system, and I'll show you this because there's a couple of things that I want to do. Trade, I want one click on, so I can drag and drop. Put that onto there. And I also want a rectangle. Okay, so we're going to put a rectangle in there as well. Okay, so we're going to establish the opening range, which is here. Now, if you want to pull this into the middle, grab that and move it across. Now, we also, well, we're going to want it in the background and I want it filled. Right, okay. Well, that's a bit garish, isn't it? Change that a little bit, I think. So we'll just have it like a maroon color. Right. Now I've established that range, we can see this. I'm also looking for a breakout. Now my breakout choice for this morning is going to be to the short side. Okay, so I'm looking to sell into this. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, it's very, very simple. First thing I need to do is just put some parameters in, because I'm going to change that line in just a second. Okay. Turn that into a green line. Nice and thick. Right, okay. So, we're ready. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to wait 5 minutes. And that's it. When it enters that box, I'm going to look to sell it. And you can see that I've already pre-marked various areas into the chart. The premise of this is very simple. We're going to be trading with pennies. So what I've done is, just if you want to follow along, this is the Black Bull hedge account. If you want to check this out, you'll find links for it in the description below, so you can run along on the same platform. Or if you're a prop trader, it's the same 5% as account, which you'll be able to kind of see. If you bear with me, I'll show you, just so you can see which account is which. There you go. So you got the 5% as hedge account if you want to run along with prop. Okay, so you got your account. Now this is where it gets difficult. I've put £150 into this because it's live, because one of the criteria of the challenge was grow a small account. Now you see me do it over this year, where I started with 118 and I've grown it into something substantial, and it's now the profits of that goes into Vanguard, as does profits from sort of the prop that I've just shown you, and that pot has grown substantially. Keep an eye on for those videos. There'll be an update this Saturday, with it being the first week of the month. Now the idea of this is to grow it in such a way that it's safe. So what I've done is this. We're going to follow this structure. Okay. So if I just pull this down, starting with 150, we'll look to trade the 4 markets to a target of 25 quid this month. Now that's a bit ambitious for 150 quid. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that into here, £25, okay, which works out at about $1.15 a day. Okay. Now what we can also do is we can run our bids, so we can see how much our bids are going to increase. Now at the moment we can't split this because we govern by size of the account. Our maximum bid is 15p, 15p, right? Because it goes up in increments of 10. I can't split it till that gets to 20. Where it comes from is this. It's the compound plan. So what you'll have is you're starting with 150. I can only open this up with one trade. So there's no splits at all. So that means I only have one position, and we're going to target 10 pips. Okay, that's the other side of this. So if we could bring this back to October, so we've got a goal of 25 quid. This will count down as we go. It'll work out what bids we have. It'll tell us exactly what our position is at any one time, and these are the trades. So you start analyzing at 6, and you've got till 5 o'clock in the afternoon to get that triggered. If it doesn't trigger, you walk. That's simple. The strategy we're using is Morningstar, and we're looking for a minimum of 10 pips from one setup, and we can only move the bid up if a 10 pip target is hit. So if you do 8 pips today, you can't move that target up until the next day when you've hit 10, and they're the markets that we're going to work with. So it's just a waiting game now. So what I'll do is I'll switch the camera off. When it gets down into here for it coming in, I'll turn the camera back on. I do have numerous meetings this morning, starting 11 o'clock, but hopefully we'll have it done by then. Now, if this hasn't triggered by 9 o'clock, I'll then look to see what the other 2 markets are up to, because it's staged. It's the early morning European, and then we let the pound get through its open, and we look at that as well, and we look to see which one's going to trigger first. And whichever one triggers first, that's the one you stick with. But at the moment, the best of the bunch for the euros was euro dollar. Catch you in a bit. Okay guys, we're back. It's coming on to 9 o'clock. So we're going to check to see if there's a new range to be sorted out. Looks like we're going to be still with the euro at this moment in time. It's still looking pretty good. But we can also now look at what's going to be happening with the pound. Again, we now have an opening range. So we can drop that in. So we've got an opening range here. Do this one in maroon. There we go. And we're now looking to see what's going to happen. Now, this is a sell side breakout that we're looking for. So I'm going to drop that there. And then we're going to sandwich that in. Roughly. Okay. So there you go. I am looking to sell this, so I'm going to put on another box on the bottom here. Now this one's not so clever. It's not as strong as the euro. So I'm just going to drop that there. And now I'm just going to watch, see what happens, because I've got two setups going. I'm not interested in the two indices this morning, just these two, because there's a lot of money kicking around. I've got ranges that I can work to, and what I'm looking for is it to go into the bottom box. But if it closes in the top box, that trade will be null and void. Okay. So we'll just watch it, see what happens. Okay guys, looks like the first trade is coming in, and it could well be cable. Okay, so we're going to open this up, just like so. I'm going to trade it off a 5-minute chart. And what we're looking for is an entry into this box, and then we're looking for approximately 10 pips off the top. So let's just sort of see roughly where that is. Right, so we've got to get onto the other side of this line. Okay, so that's the game plan. It's come into the box now. So what we're going to do is we're going to set an order in. Now we can only go like so. So we're going to have to sell the market at this point. So there it is on the top of the box. And we're looking for 10 pips. So that's approximately here. Okay. So it stops out in a bit later, but they'll be up on the other, in this box up here somewhere. Okay, so we now defined, if anything, we've actually got in a bit early, so maybe refine that a little bit into letting the trade close, but there seems to be plenty of volume to the downside, and it's now broken into it. So I'm just going to leave it, because all I'm looking for is $1, 10 pips. Okay, now you can set your target down here at the base of the box, and we're going to see if it's going to run. Okay, in fact we probably have got in a bit too early, but let's just play the trade out. One of the issues we have with doing this with very small amounts is I've got no room to breathe with it. I can't stage backwards into it because I haven't got the money to do it. I've just got to ride out the noise, which is why I was been waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, that waiting hopefully is paid off. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this to get down into here somewhere. But I'm going to keep half an eye on this as well, because if that one comes into play after this, before 10 o'clock, then I'll have a look to go into this as well. Now, one of my rules is I'm happy for it to go into a range all day and then break out in the afternoon, as long as I've got the range set in place. But I only want to be trading once. And it looks like it's this. Okay. So we'll have to see. So if that does it quick and it went bang, bang, couple of minutes, and it's before 10 o'clock, I'd have a tendency to maybe go back to market. After 10 o'clock, I'm sticking with one trade. All right. Let's just see how this goes. See if we can get our dollar for today and get this moving. Okay guys, I've got to go into a meeting now. This is doing what we suspected it would do. I'll keep half an eye of it in the meeting. If we just drop this up, we're looking for $1. We're nearly there. So I've got a choice. I can either just pull the target into where it makes $1, well, $1.15 or something like that. So if we go halfway into there, that's 147. So that's a safe target. What I want to do is get to a position where I'm not only just getting my 10 pips, I can have 2 trades running and I'll have the second one as a runner when the first one closes off. That's the game plan. But at the moment, we're just looking to build up the account gradually. So we're just going to go for our 10 pips each day and build it up naturally. Taking into account leverage, but only using what we've got. So we need, let's have a quick look before I go into this meeting. If I just pull this over, we need £1.15 a day to hit our £25. So if I target £1.50, which is here, that'll do, just about there. That'll give me the $1 that I need, or the £1 that I need, and pay off any fees. So I'll catch you when I come back. If it's still running, we'll manage it. But hopefully it might have actually cashed out. And if it has, we'll repeat the process tomorrow. Catch you soon. Okay guys, I'm back. Had a good meeting with Bubbles. Salute to you, my friend. Good, always good to speak to you. How are we getting on with Morningstar? Well, I set it just to target out at 150, so it's ahead of where we needed it to be. And we just need to see if it's done its job. So let's have a quick look, shall we? Well, it's come through the zone, it's into the second. So we'll probably have the target a little bit on the tight side. Let's have a little look at this one. Well, this one's collapsed down as well. So happy days. So my analysis on both of them was correct. So we'll drop this up. Now we targeted around here. Now we should have actually gone on a 1-to-1 box, but hey ho, there we go. Just one of those things. But let's have a little look, see where we're at. So we have hit our 154. And there you go. So happy days. So the history is, we started it, so deposited money up to 150, and we've grown that by £1.54. Outstanding. Or some people will say it's outstanding, but it's the start of the journey. So let's fill this in. So it's the second. It was 150. So just have a basic investment. Our bid was tiny, and we got 154, which moved that up. Now today came in on pound USD. It is Morning Star that we're looking at, so we'll just call it M Star, and we were short. I was in a good mood, and it was a break. All right, so first day, kind of a little bit ahead of the game. So we achieved more than the £1.15 that we're after, and it was 6% of our goal. So I'm well happy. And if we wanted to do a 0.5 target or 0.5%, that was only 76 pence. So again, we are flying. Now, the size of that is actually down to there. And if I start looking at where we need to be, it's telling me to make 8 pips. Okay, pound. All right, so happy days. So we'll do this and we'll just continue this little journey and we'll see how we get on. But if you want to follow it, hit the subscribe button. It has been a bit bitty today because I had loads to do today. And tomorrow we'll see what happens. Happy days. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.